What's up, everybody? Tanner Larsson here, and welcome back to the Optimized Ecommerce Podcast. Very excited for today's episode. We have one of the EI family here with us, and a seven-figure award winner. And if I can have anything to do with it, soon to be eight-figure award winner. Very excited for his brand to keep growing. But this is Chuckie Gregory. Chuckie has been a part of the EI family for a while now. Just not too long ago, earned his seven-figure award, but I'm going to have him tell his story in a second, but I got to brag about him a little bit. When I met him, he was just kind of getting things figured out on what they were doing. They were making some money, but it wasn't anything crazy. And then now here we are, they're 20,000 plus customers. They're generating seven figures in revenue and have built a subscription business that makes me jealous. I love what they're doing. And they just built such a solid platform in the way they take care of their customers and everything else. And anyway, we're going to get into this, talk about, Chuckie's experience, kind of how he's grown his business, some of the things he's learned and some takeaways, and it'll just be a fun conversation. I've been looking forward to having this one for a while with him. He was one of the first people I reached out to when we started bringing on additional guests and seven-figure award winners, and took us a while to get connected, but happy to have you here, buddy. Thanks for being here.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. This is awesome.
So, Chuckie, why don't you start by just introduce yourself a little bit, tell people a little bit about you, your background, how you got into ecom and that.
Yeah. So my background in business started with probably about 10 years ago. I got into the route business, distributing snacks to convenience stores. Mm-hmm. And so that was my first, attempt at business, past 20 years old. And I grew that business pretty fast. I had a few people working for me, and quickly realized that it wasn't exactly the type of business I wanted, after that. And what I really wanted was, freedom of time, but freedom of location as well, and freedom of money. So I always had in the back of my mind that I wanted to start kind of an online business. I had no idea what it would be, but I kind of had that running in the back of my mind, which I think eventually led to the e-commerce side of things. But to get onto an online business, we virtually just wanted to solve a problem, which was how much it sucks to wake up in the morning, how much it sucks to wake up early. And we knew a lot of go-getters struggled with it. It's something that we always struggled with in the distribution business, because we always had to wake up at like 4 or 5 a.m. to start the routes, because certain stores had to be delivered at certain times. So we knew we're going to solve this problem. We didn't know what it was going to be. We didn't know if it was going to be an e-commerce product, an information product, but we knew we were going to create a solution to that. So yeah, me and my guys, we started testing all kinds of different things, all kinds of different habits, like put the alarm clock across the room and all these different tips and tricks that we read about online. And one day I came across the concept of a morning cocktail, which was in a book by, I don't know if you've ever heard of Aubrey Marcus.
I do know Aubrey. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the founder of On It, and he had the concept of a morning cocktail to help kickstart your morning, which was just water on your nightstand with sea salt and lemon. So I started doing that, and it was the first habit that actually started helping a little bit. And then after a few mornings of trying that, I kind of just had the epiphany of what if this morning cocktail I'm drinking had everything that we needed to wake up early. Clean energy, mood enhancing nootropics. At the beginning it was mood enhancement, and then we figured out that nootropics could solve that, and electrolytes, because you're super dehydrated when you wake up. That's one of the reasons it's really difficult. So then we just started, we knew that we wanted to do something like that. Didn't know anything about e-commerce at all. I didn't even know what e-com stood for at the beginning when I read your book. But yeah, so we just started testing all these ingredients for about 18 months to 2 years. We just had, dozens of bags of ingredients and just mixed and matched all the different stuff. Worked with some supplement formulators to give me ideas and whatnot. And then November 2019, we finally got the product in with the formula and with the minimum order of 300 tubs. And we said, let's launch this. And if we could sell 300 tubs without knowing anything about e-commerce, then we'll figure it out. We'll figure out how to do it after that. And we basically, sold the family and friends at first, and then launched some very generic Facebook ads, not knowing at all what we were doing. And we ended up being able to sell that all in about a month. And we're like, okay, let's figure this out. And that's when we just started studying everything online. I've probably read almost everything that there is to read about e-commerce businesses, which is what led me to your book, which was huge at the beginning. And it's crazy how things can happen, how much different things can happen in 1 year. Like 1 year ago, I'm reading your book, and in 1 year's time, I'm sitting here talking to you.
Yep. No, you've had some pretty crazy growth, and it's been awesome. And yes, you guys created a great product. That's awesome and everything, but the product doesn't do it by itself. There's lots of good products out there that don't sell, right? So, what you guys have done is you became a student, but you actually didn't just stay a student. You started applying and testing and tweaking. And, that's one of the things, guys, when like Chuckie's one of our Ecom Insiders. So I get to see him a lot and interact with him a lot. I get to critique his store and his brand a lot. And, it's great. But the thing is like, he's voracious. Like if I suggest something, he's like, cool, on it. And then he goes and plays with it. And if it works, great. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But he is always out there testing. And it doesn't matter what the resource is within EI, whether it's a copywriting call or a critique call, or he's looking at one of the GSD reports or a comment in the Facebook group, like just wherever you look, his eyeballs are there. And he's taking out what he can do and he's applying it to his brand and constantly iterating. And, like you said, in about a year, you've built a 7-figure business.
Yeah. And I think what's important about that is, prior to 2020, it was all just about creating product. And I kind of consider that the entrepreneurial type of the entrepreneurial era of the business, where we were just trying to figure out the product. We were trying to create an actual great product because we knew if we did that, then we'd be able to figure out the rest of it. Then once we had the product, we shifted from entrepreneur into marketer, and we're really trying to figure out, okay, we have this product, but how are we going to sell it? And that shift, I think, is what really, helped us explode. Just really shifting into that marketer mindset of figuring out, we have this product, how are we going to sell it? And just figuring out all the different strategies and testing, and taking what works and going really deep on that.
Yep. Absolutely. Now, for those of you who are curious, the brand is called Club Early Bird, and the product is phenomenal. If you guys have struggled with mornings, you should totally subscribe and start taking it. But what's cool is it's a supplement, which can make it more challenging to market. But they also went, they started selling, and then very quickly, I don't know how much I was pushing you, but you rolled into a subscription model, and that's really where things started to really start clicking for you guys, right?
Yeah, the subscription side of things is huge. We kind of consider our business in 3 parts. The first part is the customer acquisition, where we sell one-time purchases, which is our package, our initial offer, which is the tub, a 45 serving tub, the free cocktail shaker cup, an ebook called the Perfect Morning Routine, and free shipping. So that's our initial offer. And that's kind of our first part of our business. The second part is the subscription side of the business. So when they're ready for their next shipment, they have to get a subscription. And we play it a little differently in that our copy is more, hey, now that you've bought a tub package, you've unlocked the ability to get subscription for a discounted price. So they could get the tub at a discount. And then the third part of the business is launches. So we have one of our advantages in having a consumable product like that is flavored is that we can easily just same formula, put a new flavor, and boom, we got a new product. So every 2 to 3 months, we come out with a new flavor. We launch it to our existing buyers, sell it out in like a week, is the goal. And that just creates a nice big influx that is just a huge lifetime value driver that costs no advertising or marketing spend. So the subscription side and the launch side is the profit center, and then customer acquisition we could use just to break even, just to get customers. Yeah.
And one of my favorite things about what you guys started doing was I remember before flavor drops became a thing. And like, as you were starting to come up with that idea, the first time you mentioned it, I was like, oh my God, that's brilliant. And it's just so cool. Cause like you said, it's not a new product, but it is a new product. And what I like about it is that you're not rolling out, because I'm not a fan of SKUs. Like I hate lots of SKUs. I want a brand that has a very limited amount of SKUs So my inventory is down. It's easier to sell, less cognitive load, less paradox of choice, all those things. But what you've done is you've basically introduced a periodic SKU that you can launch that can add massive profit, like you said, but it's not something that actually becomes something that you have to inventory or add to the store or create a whole separate marketing channel for. It's not becoming, and now I have 6 variants that they have to select from, and I got to track all that stuff. You've got your 1 liter, and it's also market testing, right? Like you can test these flavors, whichever flavors do the best. Maybe at some point that does become a full-time offering or something like that, but you don't have to, right?
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, we sent out a survey about 3 weeks after the initial launch to everybody that bought, and we're trying to figure out like which flavor ranks the best among all of them. So one day maybe bring out a second flavor that's permanent. And it's great too, because we don't ever have to worry about ordering too much either. Because if we order too much, we just stick that tub as our post-purchase offer on our normal. Yep. And that thing converts like crazy. People like 25% take rate. So we sell the blood orange mimosa flavor on the front end. And then, hey, you want to try the limited edition flavor? Once it's gone, it's gone. And then we'll sell it out like that.
You can always sell it out. Yeah. And the other angle that I like about what you're doing there, guys, if you're listening to this and you're thinking like, how can I use it? The big thing that makes this special is what he said, limited edition. So he's just, it's basically creating immediate scarcity and cool factor. Like number one, people don't want to miss out. They want to feel special, like they got something that nobody else has or that very few people have. And, they're already a fan of the product. And he rolls out a special edition flavor that's like, makes me feel like, man, I'm part of this like limited edition drop list. I'm going to get this. I'm going to have something special. And it just, the psychology that's built up in that, and just the way they position the offer before the copy is super cool. And of course it's consumable. So once it's gone, they need the next flavor drop to try something new. So it's one of my favorite things you guys have implemented.
Yeah, we just focus 100% on how much scarcity and urgency can we implement into this. And the fact that it's limited edition is scarcity in itself. We also do first 1,000 or X amount of orders gets a free gift. So the last one was a free pair of shades. So they got these blue shades that said "Get Shit Done" on it, with the logo on the side. And that went over well because we had tons of emails right after the purchase. Did I get my order in time to get the free shades? So yeah, it went good. And then we also do, we'll build up first dibs list. So all our pre-launch emails are to build the first dibs list, which is an SMS list. And then when we go live, we text them a day early before the regular launch that, hey, you asked for first dibs, here it is, go buy. And that's about like the last launch, that was 20 to 25% of the sales was from that one text that went out the day before.
That's crazy. So, and that's all like almost immediate sales too, because it's obviously coming from text.
Yeah, it's within like 30 minutes. It was crazy.
Now, are you letting them order multiple tubs of the flavor, or is it like a 1 tub per person kind of thing, or what's your plan on that?
We do. So on the limited edition, we give them the option of 1, 2, or 4 tubs. And then post-purchase, we offer 1 more tub. On the last launch, we split tested offering 1 or 2 tubs on the post-purchase, and 1 tub actually was taken more than twice as much as the 2 tubs. So it actually ended up being more profitable to just offer 1 more tub post-purchase.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Like what he's talking about here, guys, he's actually testing the offers, testing the variants, testing all of that. A lot of people just set that stuff up and let it run, but he's, letting them buy 1 tub or 2 tub via variant versus 1 tub and 1 tub via post-purchase. Same concept, but if the take rate's completely different, then one's going to make you a lot more money than the other.
Yeah. And since we do these launches, we're going to routinely do them. Pretty much everything we're sending out, we're trying to test as much as we can so that when the next launch comes, okay, now we know we don't have to test that again. We could just offer the 1 tub post-purchase, maybe split test a headline there. Like the live emails, we'll split test the subject lines so that the next launch, we know, okay, that one won. So we can just use that subject line in the live email. So yeah, do it as much split testing as you can do. A lot of these softwares make it super easy. So it's definitely worth your while.
For sure. To touch on it, we've been basically talking a lot about different optimizations, different things you've been doing, but obviously, because that's what we do is at Build Grow Scale, it's all about revenue optimization. It's all about, it's not about the traffic. It's about what happens after the click, right? And, how has that impacted the way you guys have built your business and how you guys, approach what you do with your brand now?
Yeah, from the beginning, kind of seeing that focus on the revenue optimization side of it really was eye-opening. So, we send all our cold traffic to a long form sales letter. Mm-hmm. So with that, having that mindset built in that we need to always be focusing on the revenue optimization side of things, we're always running a split test on that page. There's never not a split test running. If I turn one off, the other one's ready to plug right in and start testing that. So we always have that mindset of, what can we do to optimize the conversion rate? But really we're focusing on, the revenue per user on each page. So yeah, and just going through and optimizing everything from, homepage, product page to, the cart page to the checkout has been awesome. Like everything that we saw in the revenue optimization handbook, everything in the course we're going through and constantly just implementing and then watching the results and, continuously split testing.
Yeah. And that's what it takes. And that's, obviously your results are speaking for it because you guys have, I don't even know, you're probably over it now, but you were at 20,000 customers not too long ago and you just kind of can keep growing. To go from, and even 18 months or whatever the actual timeline is, that's nuts. Like many brands don't ever achieve that kind of velocity, and you've done it profitably without taking on investor money or anything crazy like that. You basically have bootstrapped a very successful, high margin subscription business, which is literally everything I just said is everybody's dream, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's been awesome. Yeah, I would never have dreamed that we'd be in the position we're at right now a year ago. But now that we're here, we're just like, all right, what's the next level? Where can we go from here? Yeah. So yeah, it never ends.
The crazy thing was we shipped out Chuckie his 7-figure award. And normally we present the 7-figure awards on stage at the event and everything, but obviously we couldn't have events because of COVID and all that stuff. So when Chuckie's was ready, we just mailed it to him, and he gave us a really cool video where we got to see him unwrapping it and talking about it, which was awesome. But we were super bummed in the office because we're like, man, we don't get to hand it to him on stage. Although we're doing BGS Live again in January, Chuckie will have to be there, of course. And we'll still bring him on stage and have him hold another award and get some pictures and let everybody cheer for him and everything. So we'll still get it. It just won't be quite as awesome as if it was the very first time you saw the award and got to see it. But we were pretty excited to send that one out. And, guys, the other thing about, I want to talk about with Chuckie is that it's not there's no ego. And it's not that, he doesn't have an ego. We all have egos, but when it comes to the way he approaches his business, he's open to learning. He's I guess the number one, he checks his ego at the door, whether it's with me or, any of the other people that he learns from, because he's like he said, he's a voracious reader. He's always paying attention to everything he can learn from every different source, but he doesn't we were talking about it before the call. He doesn't go why this can't work. He's like, okay, that's interesting. That's a cool idea. Let me try it. And then if it doesn't work, well, then he has data on it, but he just doesn't worry about all the reasons it can't work. And he's like, I guess the summation of that would be something along the lines of, and this is my perspective of you, but you very much agree with the whole philosophy of jumping to the front of the line instead of trying to reinvent the wheel yourself.
Yeah. Following what's worked for other people and then testing it in your own business. I think one of the huge advantages we have in the e-commerce landscape is the ability to pretty easily test different things, where a lot of businesses don't have that ability to, test things on that kind of level. So since we have that ability, we should just, continuously test it without, letting our opinion get in the way. Just throw it out there. This is probably taking it a little too far, but I was just talking to my cousin who's we brought on to just constantly, put together different UGC videos and all this stuff.
Mhm.
And he's putting together something. He's like, this might work, but I just don't like how it looks. I was like, dude, I do not care. I'll advertise a dick pic if it'll convert.
Absolutely. Like, that's something you get married to. Like, product becomes your baby, and all of a sudden you're not willing, like, if it doesn't look a certain way or doesn't do a certain things. I mean, you have brand guidelines, of course, but you are not the end user, right? Like, the second you might have been when you started, like, hey, I suck at mornings. I want something to help me get a better morning. I created a product that actually helps me. But the second you decided to sell that product, you are no longer your end user. You don't think about it the same way, right? So it's very hard for you to, what they want and what you want, what would appeal to them and what would appeal to you are not the same thing anymore.
Yeah. And your customer base is going to evolve as you go. When we set it up, I was like, our dream customer is, in their 20s, go-getter. It's, I thought I was the customer avatar. But the more we sold and seen, what kind of person we're attracting, our customers really, 40, 50, 60-year-old female. And that, wants to stay up with their kids, wants to stay active, wants to wake up, before their kids or with their kids without being grumpy. So,
that's a massive shift. From what you thought into what you got, right?
Yep. Yeah. So we consistently do like surveys and stuff and kind of learn about our customers. And if we would have just stuck with the initial mindset, we would have kept just going after, people that aren't really our end user. So yeah.
And you're building advertising and creatives and everything that don't speak to the people who are actually buying. So a smaller percentage of them wind up buying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, it makes total sense. So, we've talked about a bunch of, you shared a lot of gold already, but what's something right now that's working for you guys really well, or that you were surprised, like something new that you guys are doing that is actually making an impact?
I think something that we're doing that I really love is we're using SMS as kind of like a newsletter style. So we do a weekly text called Get Shit Done Tuesday, and we don't automatically opt in anybody for it. So they'll get, they'll see it on the thank you page. They'll see it in emails and whatnot, that they can opt in for a weekly text every Tuesday morning. That's kind of motivational, just personally from me. And, that list has just grown a lot, and our customers really, really love those texts. And it just gives us the ability to once a week, from them asking for it to, constantly, have the attention, just to get their attention just for a little bit. Yeah. Just to stay top of mind. And then, constantly see our brand, our name. And then, at the bottom of all those, we include because this is all our buyers. So we include a link to our subscription product. So you never know when somebody's going to run out. They may, forget, what your website is, or, forget to even just get on the computer, but they get that weekly text, you're top of mind, they click the link and they can buy. And then that list is just a gold mine when we do launches, whether it's a product launch or a new flavor. So that list is just huge because, that customer base just loves us. So
absolutely.
We've built quite the list there, and it's expensive because, sending a weekly text to them to a list of like 10,000 people can get pricey, but it's so worth it when you can, stay top of mind with your best customers.
Absolutely. And with that list, is it primarily image-based text, just text or combination? What are you kind of sending to them?
It's a combination. So sometimes it's always either a picture or a GIF, because we need that to be a multimedia message, because that gives us up to 1,600 characters.
Yep.
And then it'll be either, something that's on my mind. If I read something in a book that really resonated with me, or I saw something that kind of motivated me, I'll use that. Or it could be, a quote, something like that. And then we'll sign off and then have the link there. So they're between, I would say, probably like 200 to 500 characters in that range. We try to keep it somewhat shorter, but it's okay if it's a little longer because they're expecting it. But then we'll have always a GIF or an image that kind of goes with the quote or whatever that message is.
Yeah. And I wanted you to point that out, because a lot of people get in this head of like, they think SMS is the new email, so they have to treat it the same way an email goes out, and emails are obviously longer form and everything else. And it just doesn't have to be. Plus SMS guys, I mean, obviously he's telling you how profitable it is, which is true. In our amplified partner stores, SMS is the number one revenue generator for abandoned carts, for, direct promotion type money. Like email does great. You can get up to 40% of your daily revenue from email, but SMS will outperform that every single time. The problem is you just never are going to have as big of an SMS list as you have an email list. But when we track it, if you look at like abandonment, for example, we send out email abandons. We used to do messenger abandons. We don't do as many of those anymore because of the whole terms of service thing has changed. But when we were doing email abandons, SMS abandons, and Facebook Messenger abandons, at first it started out that Facebook Messenger was the instant winner. It would crush everything else. And then right after that would be SMS. And then after that was email. You're going to pick up even more from SMS now because the Messenger is not as big of a thing, but the SMS abandons, if just outperforms by like a 3-to-1 ratio, our email abandons. The cool thing is though, is what doesn't get picked up by the SMS abandon does get picked up and mostly by the email. So you're using them in conjunction. So like Chuckie's guys that he has on his SMS list, you're still emailing them, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's all about impressions, and the combination is what sometimes does it. It's not the text that does it or the email. It's the combination of the messaging and both of them.
Now, with your your existing customer base, are you guys doing any kind of dedicated advertising campaigns to them with like retargeting or anything else? Do you run ads just to them?
Yeah. So if they've bought our front end offer but are not a subscriber, they'll get ads to become a subscriber. So we'll have various ads like don't wait till the last scoop, you don't want to miss out, kind of thing. So push them to that subscription offer, because that's kind of the end goal, is to get them on that subscription.
Correct. Yep.
And then when we have like the new flavor drops, we'll run some ads that specifically target our existing buyers list, but not a huge budget. It's very little marketing spend.
Well, you're still selling most of it out via SMS and email beforehand, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Nice.
So yeah, but not a ton of retargeting ads to our existing buyers list. Just because we're a one product store. In about a month we'll have our second product. So once we have that, we can kind of do some more segmentation. Like they bought product X but haven't bought product Y, so let's advertise that. So yeah, once we have our second product, we can do a lot more elaborate stuff there, which would be really cool.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that come out and how you guys roll it out. There's a lot of potential there.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we're excited.
Yeah, I would be too. And then you've still got one more quarter for one more flavor drop this year, right?
Yeah, so we're doing a flavor drop probably end of this month or early next month. Then we'll do the second product launch, which is Nightcap, August, September-ish. And then we'll actually have another new flavor in the fall. It's like a fall flavor. So it's like caramel apple martini. So all our flavors are cocktail themed. Blood orange mimosa, strawberry daiquiri, stuff like that. So yeah, keeps it fun.
Just an idea that, obviously we're talking about a podcast right now, but an idea that I had for you guys was for your Black Friday, Cyber Monday promotion, or your 12 days of Christmas or something like that. Obviously you're going to use the Black Friday GSD report we have to do that. Something that you could really do as a cool thing would be to maybe take some of your flavor drops and create a holiday bundle where you get 3 flavors or some kind of bundle pack through it'd just be a really cool way to do a crazy Black Friday, Cyber, and it could be even a pre-order Black Friday, Cyber Monday deal where you don't actually commit to the inventory, but it's like, hey, we're going to do this blowout special deal. There's a bundle of four exclusive flavors, or 4, 2 of our past ones, 2 of our previous one or new ones or whatever, and try to take your average order value way up for Black Friday, Cyber Monday. And you got exclusivity, you got scarcity, and you're also not on the hook for inventory if you did a pre-order.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, I like that idea. So bringing back the old flavors. Yeah, is what you're saying.
For this, once it's a once a year promo. Like once a year, you bring back that maybe some of the old flavors, and maybe you introduce one surprise flavor or some surprise, like you always do a free gift. Maybe there's something extra cool you can do, or a limited edition shaker. something like that. And if it's all pre-order based, you can stack the coolness there, and then you're only on the hook for what you produce. And then if it doesn't meet the minimums, order just enough to create the minimum, and then you've got plenty of upsell product following that.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, we're gonna talk about something like that. We've also thought of like some kind of like face off, like 2 flavors, and it's kind of like they're facing off, and vote with your wallet kind of thing. Yep.
I like that idea
There's a brand called Indestructible Shoes that does that really well. Every time the 2 shoes come out, and then you just like click on your favorite, and you click on it, and oh damn, I got to buy it now.
I got to buy it to vote. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So something like that might be cool too.
But especially with your
go ahead.
I was gonna say with your customer base, with them already getting into that whole like limited edition type thing, you create that loyalty and that brand, like, this is my brand. I'm part of this culture. I'm part of this community.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. The limited edition flavors are so fun. They keep things really fun, fresh, and new. We don't ever get kind of stale with our existing, buyers. But yeah, last Black Friday, we just did a discount on the subscription because we didn't have anything else. Yeah, that did really well too. We offered like 30% off, but just the first delivery. And then, so we like doubled our subscription count, and then, they stuck on. So,
and then next month you build them the full.
Yeah. So what's cool about that is you just you reap the benefits of Black Friday every month kind of thing, for a while. So yeah, that worked out well too.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a whole lot of ways you can play that, but yeah, I thought that whole bundle idea, it was just, actually I was driving to the gym a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, oh, you know what, that would work. And then I knew we were going to talk. So I was like, oh, I'll just check it, file it away until we talk.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, there's some pretty cool things you could do there. And then you could still, as the upsell to the Black Friday offer like your discount on your dual continuity at that point, where they can get AM and PM on the same subscription for a better deal. Yeah.
Yeah. That's going to be huge too, is we're going to really be able to elevate the subscription side of the business just by having a second product that they can actually subscribe to.
And add on, you can double your recurring, or 1.5 times your recurring at the very least, by just getting your existing subscribers to add it on. And so, yeah, I mean, that's phenomenal. So guys, if you're listening to this and you're like, man, I don't have a subscription business, man, you should get one, right? Yeah. Recurring revenue is one of my favorite topics. It's one of my favorite programs to have and to offer. And I think any business can build it in some way. Obviously, consumable ones like Chuckie's lend themselves to it a little bit easier, but there's always a way to add some kind of continuity level to your business, no matter what. And the other thing is, there's ways, like you're seeing here, Chuckie can add multiple levels of continuity within the same business, and some of the same products. So he's going to add a PM product, which also from a marketing standpoint makes sense, right? He's got hey, we're helping you crush your mornings. What's the next thing people struggle with? A lot of people either struggle with staying asleep or falling asleep or just winding down in the evenings. I'm a perfect example of that. Like, my brain never shuts down. So I struggle in the evenings. I don't struggle as much in the mornings, but I for sure struggle in the evenings. And, so you've got people like that. So like maybe the morning one didn't excite me, although it does, but let's say it didn't, but now he comes out with a new product. He appeals to an entirely different product demographic, who, after trying the nighttime, can now be like, oh, you know what? Maybe I will try the morning because I love the results of what's happening with the night stuff, and then vice versa. So, but he's staying within his category and not going crazy. And he's not launching like a probiotic or hey, now we're going to sell Garcinia or some random vitamin or something. He's staying within the wheelhouse of a very niched down business.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, that was kind of the whole idea, is to really focus on the routine. So we teach our customers, at night, you make the morning cocktail and you place it on your nightstand so it's ready in the morning. So we're going to really promote the routine of, at night, make your nightcap, start drinking it, make your morning cocktail, put it on your nightstand, and you'll really have that 1-2 punch of great sleep, high REM, high quality sleep, and you'll be able to wake up early, get shit done. It's the kind of the motto.
I happen to like that motto, just slightly. So what's funny, guys, about that, if you don't know, is you can see back here, it says GSD, right? GSD started out as this. This is the Ecom Insider GSD report. You can see that we mail out. So Chuckie gets one of these every month. It's a turnkey marketing campaign. But when I came up with the name, it was just like, what am I going to call this report? Like, cool report? No, get shit done. Like, get the report every month, get it done. If you do just that, you're going to make a ton of money and you're going to be super stoked. So it started out that way. And then we started saying it, and the Ecom Insiders took it up as their war cry. And now it's like, it's every Facebook post, every comment, everything. They're all saying GSD, get shit done, whatever. And then Chuckie has his brand, and they do a product drop, and all of a sudden I see the GSD sunglasses, and it fits. And so it's, but it's what I eat, sleep, and breathe is getting shit done. It's clear that Chuckie does the same thing. And, it's also not just Chuckie. I don't want you to think like he's phenomenal, but he's got a team. He has a partner. His wife helps him with it. And, honestly, I'm sure she's the true boss, just like most of us in our wifey husbandly relationships. But
her opinion's much better than mine.
Yes.
I'll get the stuff done, but yeah, I turn to her opinion for everything.
Yep. It's always fun on the like the jam session calls and stuff, because like I'll see you, and then I see like half her shoulder, and then she'll pop in and it's like, oh, hey, what's up? But yeah, no, it's so, I mean, what do you have to say about that? Like going from solopreneur, the two of you doing it by yourself, to kind of, now you've hired your cousin, you've probably hired a few other people. Talk a little bit about that evolution and kind of how that's helped you.
Yeah. I mean, at first we didn't want employees. We kind of, and we're always going to have that kind of the mindset that we don't want a big employee business because it just adds so much stress. And I've already been there with the other business.
Yep.
So we do work with like a lot of agencies and a lot of freelancers and people like that. But as we grow, we need to bring more people in house. So yeah, we got my cousin who just is constantly, kind of his job, which is kind of a unique position, I think, is he's just watching over all the like 50 different brands and just watching their ad accounts and seeing what they're doing. And then, let me get that out. And then when they, see something that they're doing unique, we take our assets and we create something similar to that. And he does the video editing and all that stuff. But yeah, and then you got customer service side of things, which if you don't have a customer service person, you're going to drain a lot of time and a lot of stress. So yeah, I think in the beginning,
should not be in there. Yeah.
No. And it's something to kind of, you definitely need to separate yourself from that. Cause there's always going to be a lot of negativity in there too. So you want to kind of separate yourself from that. Just read the good stuff.
Yep. Yeah. If we always say that if I had to do customer service, there would not be a BGS, because I would destroy it if I had to do customer service, because and especially if you're impassioned or you care about what you have, like you got to deal with the negative stuff, and it's harder to be objective. Whereas a customer service representative can be objective and actually look at it from the customer perspective first, without the emotion jumping in there. And that's super important, because you want to treat your customers like gold, but not every customer is always right, unfortunately. Even though we say that's the rule, but it's not the case. So you got to have someone who can handle that and take care of it, mitigate it, but also leave them, the brand in a good place and the customer in a good place.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So that's kind of our team. Is just we have basically the five of us that, handle everything, but yeah, it'll continue to grow as we grow. And we'll kind of continue to figure out what positions need to be filled, but that'll be an always revolving kind of evolution of the business, which it's fun. Awesome.
Well, guys, thank you, Chuckie. This was great. This is everything I wanted it to be. We covered a lot of stuff. You shared, and I knew you would. So guys, if you enjoyed this podcast, please leave us a review. Let us know what you think about, Chuckie, his brand, and what he shared on here. If you got any good takeaways from him, please leave a review, do that. Also, make sure you're subscribed. Okay. This is a video podcast and an audio podcast. So Stitcher, iTunes, whatever, Spotify, also subscribe on YouTube. And then to get the show notes and all the other details, you want to go to buildgrowscale.com/podcast. You can also get links to the other platforms in case you're not subscribed or you want to switch platforms. You don't have to search for it. We'll just click right over. And then if you do struggle with mornings, or you are an entrepreneur who wants to perform higher, go to clubearlybird.com. Check it out. That's Chuckie's brand. You'll see him on on the sales page with his wife there, holding their shaker cups, and jump in on that. It's a phenomenal product that, you know, that you can read the reviews, the customers are there. So if that's something you struggle with, hit them up, support a fellow ecom person, right?
Yeah.
So
I think if there was ever a podcast that kind of emulated what it is like to be an EI, this is probably it. Just bouncing ideas off each other, kind of just having a conversation with people that kind of understand what it's like. Because, you know, you talk to your regular friends and your family, they're not going to get it. And it's kind of cool to have that community too of, you know, people in that same battle as you are.
Oh, for sure. I mean, hell, I've got ideas just from us talking right here too. Like, you know, I every time I have one of these conversations, it's always pick up something or an idea or thought or, oh, you know what? I need to go revisit that. I forgot that I already knew that, or I haven't done that yet. So dude, this was great. I appreciate it. I thank you for your time. And I can't wait to get this episode out for everybody to listen to.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. All right, guys, we will wrap this up. It will be up for you guys within a week, and I'll see you in the next episode. See ya.